Out of all the South Indian warriors lies the brave Marwar. The first spark of rebellion, his name was Puli Thevar. The Marwar Poligars were the land's chieftains, and their might was 77 in number, not 2 or 10. Thevar stood up against the Nawab, Muhammad Ali, who desired lands and power so much he called the British my son, my ally. Now we'll hear the stories of the warrior so nifty, for his battles for the motherland was from the 1750s. It began with the Indian usurper, Nawab of Arcot, when against Poligars with the British he fought. The British sought to seize the South Indian lands, so under Commander Heron, they sent their rampant plans. The cities and temples were plundered by their troops, and the Poligars had no choice but to surrender in groups.
It's sad to be subdued by these wretched invaders. Look at them using cheap hacks.
Oh, I agree. Death to Huron and tactics of tax.
It's unfair for our own land, the price we have to pay.
I wish for someone strong enough to drive the whites away.
On a rampage, Heron was, filled with arrogant desires, for he wished another Polygar to call him sire. Back then, he didn't realize he made a huge mistake. For the Polygar he chose was Puli Thevar. Oh, for God's sake! He chose to trick the Polygar by means of taxation, for which the smart Polygar made the first negative declaration. Thevar decided to show them his hate, for it was his lands the British wanted to allocate. The British asked Thevar for 20,000 rupees. Thevar refused. It's not my job to please.
Certain that my estate doesn't generate that big revenue. However, I know worth of a rupee, and I'm not willing to throw a single rupee. Send it to those invading hogs.
But my lord, what if they take offense and retaliate with their forces?
The forces of a caliber that these invaders haven't seen. We'll watch them try only to later cry, and they will know they should never be.
Thevar made his predictions right, for the British army lost the fight. They sadly realized the fort was impregnable, and they retreated only to find more trouble. The other Polygars had much rejoiced, for a leader had arisen with the loudest voice. Thevar decided to strike and take their lands back, and focused on British camps and settlements to attack. His first big victory was at Fort Nerkattumseval, where the Nawab's troops bit dust in gravel. Thevar realized he could train them out of supplies, for on the British, the army of the Nawab relies. Muhammad couldn't sustain the attack for long, and calling British reinforcements was where he went wrong.
These fools have their guns nearly drained, and I'm still wondering that what they think they have gained.
What do we do, my lord? How do we end the attack? Do we kill the troops right away?
Certain that they beg for supplies from the British. Why not attack the British convoy? They would anticipate an attack on them, but not on the convoy. This is enough to debase them from their vantage point and to bring them on their knees.
As you say, my lord, we have complete belief in you.
The interception was successful as he intended. The British faced an attack never anticipated. Their supplies were looted, their troops were booted, caravans broken down. The disappointed British army, of course, ran back to town. Since then, many battles were fought. Some were won and some were lost. Thevar's army and supporters, however, never lost belief. They believed in their leader against the English thief.
Insolent Puli Thevar has rampaged enough. I want to kill him for good.
I'm sending my best battalions with your General Yusuf Khan. We shall defeat him at his fort and parade his body through the streets.
In the year 1960, commenced the last battle of Puli Thevar. Thevar had a fort with forests around for miles, which Yusuf Khan had besieged with his weapon stockpiles. Around the forest, Thevar's men were spread, ransacking enemy camps and leaving British troops as good as dead. Thevar fought long enough to deplete Ali's ammunition, and Ali's plan of capturing Thevar ended without completion. The mighty Thevar was finally ambushed in a game of deceit, Yusuf's only way to bring about Thevar's defeat. He paraded the captured Thevar in the streets to shame the warrior that brought the British to their feet. The events that followed were nothing but divine. Thevar was permitted to pray alone in Shiva's sanctum below the shrine. The guards rushed inside on hearing handcuffs break. Thevar who sung hymns was nowhere to take. Ever since it was believed that Thevar had escaped or was taken to Kailash, his permanent abode made. With this ended the story of Puli Thevar, the leader with the legacy no man more braver. Jai Hind.